Our children come in the door, 96% of them with no English or very little English. It's a huge, huge challenge. They come in as well below baseline in terms of communication, language and literacy, personal, social and emotional as well. So we have to work very closely with the parents and families in supporting children's outcomes. Early Talk has had an impact on the centre in terms of addressing the children, the cohort of children's needs here. It's embedded in the centre. It helps us focus on what we do as practitioners. It certainly skilled practitioners up as well with children's language development and identifying children with speech and language. Bearing in mind the complexity of the high number of children that are English as additional learners, many of them have speech and language issues as well, so it really is complicated. So Early Talk has given us a good anchor.
And Seth, we can do that right at the end, okay?
Should we do Sandy again?
In a minute, okay.
It has always been a high priority for us to develop those language levels for the children, because it opens doors for them and gives them access into other areas of the curriculum and other areas of life that they can really enjoy and communicate and develop all those social skills as well with their friends. So.
Well, when they first start, a lot of the time you see them talking to the friends in home language. Straight away they can pick out who can speak their home language, and they tend to play together. And as soon as they start using a few words of English, then they start communicating with the other children and interacting with the other children. And the same with the adults. They'll come and talk to me in their home language, but then they realize, oh, Magda doesn't speak my home language, so I have to make an effort to speak to her in English. And because we use the other staff, if we've got staff that speak the children's language, we use them to translate for us, and then we'll reinforce it in English, so they're getting both languages at the same time.
And some milk, and they put it on the stove, and they mixed it, they stirred it, and they cooked it till it was lovely and steaming hot.
Definitely, the Early Talk just reinforced what we were already doing with the children, because, like you said, we've got a lot of children with English as an additional language, so we were using quite a lot of techniques already to support those children, but it reinforced the fact of having the visual timetable to support them, to have choice boards as well, so you give them 2 different activities to do, and they choose which one they want to do as well. Instead of just the language, you give them the pictures of the activities. So that came out of the Early Talk. We do a lot of project work at Greenfields, and this is a project that we did with the children about volcanoes, because children are talking about volcanoes a lot. So we started by looking at books, and the children are talking about where do we find volcanoes, what are volcanoes, what happened to volcanoes. And then they decided to draw pictures of the volcanoes themselves. And all of this extends their vocabulary and their language as well. And if they're not able to talk about what they're doing, they can describe it through writing, through drawing the photos of the volcanoes as well.
If children are interested in a particular thing, like for example if they're really interested in mini beasts, then an adult might decide, you know, this is a great opportunity to take the children outside and let's have a look at some mini beasts, or they might go and look at the vegetables that they're growing in the garden, or so that time is really, really flexible, and the staff work together, they talk together about you know, what's the best thing to do and what's the best way to move these children on, and how to develop the children's interest as well, because everything we do comes from the children. You know, it's not imposed by the adults at all. We really take on board the children's ideas, the children's thoughts, what the children are doing, what they're interested in, and we really build on that and move forward in that. Developing, I think, you know, for us it's about developing children's skills, and you can do that in a range of contexts, in a range of subjects. You know, and a range of interests that the children have. So we just build on that from taking the lead from the children.
We worked with the children, a very listening to children culture here. We listen to their needs, and we do a lot of project work which embrace a lot of rich language development in the centre.